All right. Well, what's up, guys? Got Dave here on the new bike, on the Husqvarna 701 Supermoto, just taking it out for a spin. I wanted to talk about like what bike I'm actually comparing this bike to. Is not really a Supermoto, and I'll explain why. I've been seeing all these videos from Cycle Cruiser with his new Yamaha Supermoto, and now lately I'm seeing all these videos from RJ with his new KTM 300 TPI two-stroke Supermoto. I was thinking about getting this bike because of Cycle Cruiser and RJ, but I wanted to talk about this bike because it's not at all like a Supermoto. It's more like my Duke 690. That's really it's the same engine, but, and you know, I'll get into it. It's the same engine as the Duke 690, except it's the new improved version of the engine, like with more counterbalancers or like that second counterbalancer, and it's way smoother, dude. There's like almost no vibration in the bars, and there's no vibration at all in the pegs, and it's way smoother, and it's a way different feel than my 2014 Duke 690. I felt the same way when I rode that guy's bike up at the Rock Store, which was a 2017 Duke 690, and that had the new engine in it. And this new engine is amazing, dude. It's so much smoother, and it makes a little bit more power, but it's like overall, like the torque curve and stuff, it's a more usable engine. There are so many things about this bike that are better, that are improved, but there's also some things that it doesn't have that the Duke 690 does have, so I'll talk about that too. In addition to having the new engine that's better, it's got fully adjustable suspension, which is something that I always wanted, always wished I had on the Duke 690. The right side has the red knob, and that's for rebound, and then the left side has compression, you know, and the gray knob or the white knob, that's for compression, you know. So it's like, it's got them both, but it's like one leg does one thing and the other leg does the other thing. And then it comes OEM stock with a fully adjustable rear shock, which is something I wish that the Duke 690 has. Yeah, I wish that it had that. I wish it came with that. And it's actually got high and low speed compression adjustment on the top of the shock, and then it's got a screw on the bottom for the rebound dampening. And so it's the three-way adjustable, and you can adjust the coil spring. So it's the full-on adjustable shock, you know, just like an aftermarket shock. This bike feels really good. Feels totally stuck to the ground, dude. And these tires are good. These are the Continental Supermoto tires, which y'all know that I'm a big fan of Continental tires. And then another thing about it is, instead of having the gas tank right here and the filler right here and all the weight up high, the weight, it's all built into the tail, you know. Like, watch, I'll show you. You fill it up right here. And the gas is like, the tank is built into the tail somehow, and that's what it looks like. You know, that really clean, like just how everything is. It's freaking super clean, dude. I like it. I think it's a good looking bike. Hopefully it gives me years and years of happiness with no issues. This is 20 pounds lighter than that bike, just right off the bat, in addition to having the weight really, really low. And when you're riding this thing, it feels like the weight is just like there's nothing really higher than the top of the tires. And if you look at it, like how everything is, it's pretty low. You know, it doesn't have that giant tank that the Duke bikes have. You know, the Duke 690, Duke 1290, they have that giant tank, and it puts the weight up high. Another thing that I'm noticing that I really like a lot about this bike is the slipper clutch. It just slips way more. You know, like when you downshift, there is absolutely no deceleration on this bike, that's how a supermoto should be. You know, an actual professional, like the pro race supermoto, it has a one-way slipper clutch, and it makes it so there is absolutely zero decel when you let off the gas. It just freewheels. The only way to slow that bike down is with the brakes, like a true supermoto. That's why, you know, like the difference, like if you look at it that way, like RJ's bike is really closer to like a pro supermoto, because a two-stroke, when you let off the gas, two-strokes don't really decel very much. They're just like ding, 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 ding. They just kind of coast. Where I'm sure Cycle Cruise's bike is a lot like my Beta, where like, because the four-strokes, when you let off the gas, it goes ooh. I'm really happy with this thing. I think it's really cool. I'm probably going to end up taking off the hand guards and the mirrors, you know, and doing something different, you know, because that'll I think clean it up and make it look more like a dirt bike. The only real mod that I'm thinking about making is doing a steering dampener, but the kit is like, it's like $740 or something like that for the Scott's steering dampener kit. It's like really expensive for this bike. That'll probably be like the one major mod that I do to this bike, but I'm not planning on getting exhaust. I like how quiet it is. I'm not worried about making it faster. The whole point of supermoto isn't that you have monster power. The whole point of supermoto racing is carrying your speed and just being like a really good bike handler on a super light, lower horsepower bike. Now, I will tell you the things that I don't like about this bike. It's really not that I don't like these things about this bike. It's things that the Duke 690 does have that this bike doesn't have. And the first thing is the tachometer. That was one of the things when I bought the Beta that I really thought was cool on that bike. And the other thing that it doesn't have is it doesn't have the gear indicator. And I really like that on the Duke 690. Not that you're looking at it all the time, but you can glance at it and figure out where you are real quick and be like, okay, I'm in fourth. And then you're like all third, second, you know, and like, you know exactly where you're at. I don't know, I'm a techie nerd, and I think things like tachometers and gear indicators are really freaking cool. So I really like the fact that I have that on certain bikes. The Duke 690 has a very comfortable seat. Very comfortable. Like, you could ride the Duke 690 across country. Seriously, like as far as the seat goes, you could ride that bike 1,000 miles and you would not get monkey butt. That seat is excellent. Where the seat on this thing is like a dirt bike seat. It's not really like a nice sculpted seat like the Duke 690. Just figured I'd tell you about those things. Those are like the three things that I really like about the Duke 690 that are not present on this bike. So that's kind of an overview of the new machine. And I don't know, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm an idiot for getting rid of the RC8 and getting this instead, or I mean, it's whatever, you know. You can talk a bunch of crap if you want, I don't care. I really don't regret it, just because how difficult the RC8 was to ride on the street and how easy this is to ride on the street. And if I was going and doing track days all the time, honestly, I would just like pull the mirrors and the signals off of the RC8 for good, and I would put it up on the trailer, and it would just be like a track only bike, because that's what I've discovered riding that at the track, is that when you're not worried about like looking in your mirrors or potholes or any of the, I don't even want to list all the things that I think about and just whatever, watch out for on the street, versus being at the track, the only thing you're concerned with is your lines. You know, you're just going as fast as you can, you're trying to make every turn as smooth as possible. That's all you're worried about. We're on a bike like this, dude, I could turn all the way around and see what, dude, it's perfect. I love this. This is just, so I mean, that's what I meant on the time to say goodbye video when I was like, that's the direction this channel's going, is honestly, like on the street, dude, supermoto or a dual sport or a Duke 690, Duke 1290, like an upright bike is way more usable than a crotch rocket. That's my opinion, just because of the riding position. Well, anyway, I'm getting a bit long-winded on this video, so I will talk to you guys later, and have a great day. Enjoy this wonderful winter weather, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.